I've got a 7-iron in hand, and it does appear that I have found what may be the key to staying on plane without any feeling of rerouting. So before I was doing rerouting at transition quite consciously. This, and then feeling like I'm dropping my hands back onto a wall at transition. And that would pretty reliably get me on plane. Unfortunately, according to a piece by Louis Oosthuizen in another video on my channel here, that can come at the expense of speed, that rerouting, that move. So you don't see it. You don't see this because it's coinciding with the turn. It just feels like you're backing the hands up against the wall. But when combined with the turn, it just looks like you're dropping the hands. You see, but I didn't find that to be very reliable. And so recently I started experimenting with, in addition to focusing on width, really stretching it out, and retraction of the right shoulder at the top while maintaining that width, not retracting it while doing this, not any kind of a chainsaw pull move. So it's not that. Now I'm feeling retraction in the right shoulder here, but I'm also getting this. I don't want that. I want to maintain the width. So I want maintaining width and now feeling that retraction. Okay, so I've added a third ingredient. And that's probably in addition to other ingredients that I have now internalized, but that were formerly very consciously employed. But this, what seems to be the key ingredient right now, in addition to the width and retraction, now were my hands too low? Right there. That's another thing I'm going to have to address. But anyway, I want to get the hands on the proper path, in addition to the shaft being on plane. If the hands are out here and the shaft is on plane, that's no good either. So I want the hands to be on the proper path and the shaft to be on the proper path coming in. So P6, basically, so I have this here. This here is a 45-degree angle cut in half, so a 22.5-degree angle, which should be the feel. P6, shaft parallel to the ground. Now, it doesn't always attain that, but it's the feel. As John Erickson calls it, the 430 line. So anyway, all right, so this third key seems to be maintaining this angle that I've got right now between the arms and the shaft, maintaining that angle as I go back, so I'm not ulnar deviating at all, not as an outside path on the way back would do, that would ulnar deviate my wrists. I don't want that. Now, does that help with getting on plane? Does this exercise help to get on plane? Yes, because it really accentuates that rerouting. So I have used that in the past to get on plane here. Often at the expense, however, of the hands being too steep. Why? Because when you go out, this creates ulnar deviation. See both of those wrists, ulnar deviating? Ulnar deviation here, rerouting here. Yes, it gets the shaft back on plane, but those hands don't always get properly positioned and therefore are too steep to the plane. This seems to solve that, focusing on maintaining this angle from address. Now I'm maintaining that angle, just staying on plane. It feels like my shaft is far too square, but that is quite sufficient right there. I don't want this. I never want to see that club head like that. I also don't want this. No. No. I want this. And just focusing on maintaining that angle achieves that. Right there. At shaft parallel. All right, so anyway, maintain the angle. Maintain the angle, and then with retraction. And this seems to achieve the hands staying on plane and the shaft staying on plane without having that feeling of rerouting. Now let's take a look at some swings where I'm not focusing at all on trying to reroute to get on plane, and yet that maintenance of the angle on the backswing just automatically achieves that. But that's in concert with width and retraction of the right shoulder at the top. It's in concert with those elements that this is achieved.